Hey guys, Lewis here, and welcome to XCOM 2. The wait is finally over, and I have to say, I'm having a blast playing this game right now. Now, I did promise you guys in my last Overwatch video that I was going to make a showcase video on character customizations for soldiers, VIPs, and dark VIPs. That way you guys have an idea of what customizations are available when you want to volunteer for the XCOM 2 squads, or put yourself in as VIPs or dark VIPs. Now, I have to say I have been playing this game for pretty much the entire day. I've spent upwards to about 12 hours in the character pool alone and roughly 2.5 hours in the campaign itself, and I'm having quite a fun time. There are some performance issues here and there, and I'm hoping to be able to address that and smooth things out, but that will be something I'll be working on in the background. Speaking of the campaign though, I have some bad news. Unfortunately, I am actually rendering the first episode for the Let's Play right now, but I've been having rendering issues all day with the video, so the program keeps crashing and I have to keep restarting the render, which is very, very annoying for me. And I haven't had this issue in quite a while, but to say the least, it infuriates me. So unfortunately, I will not be able to start the official Let's Play today. So the first official episode for the XCOM 2 Let's Play will probably be sometime next week, which I'm very disappointed by because I really wanted to be able to start this series in earnest. But at the very least, I'll be able to get the showcase video out to you guys. So without further ado, let's jump into the character pool and talk about the character customization. So as you all know by now, the character pool is where we create our soldiers and customize them. In the character pool, we are not restricted by the in-game ranking system, meaning that certain customizations that you get in-game were locked out by rank. So you can have a particular helmet until you reach the captain or something of the like. In the character pool, however, you have free reign. You can have all the customizations that are currently available to you and play with them. Moving away from that though, let's focus on the character customization. So we have a lot of options here. So we have things such as like creating character, that should be very simple. Other things like delete selections, so you can choose certain selections that you want to delete. And as you probably noticed, I have quite a lot of people here. As of right now, I have 4 full squads of soldiers, quite a lot of VIPs, and a handful of dark VIPs. So I'd say roughly around 30 some people right now, and I still got another 20 characters to customize and add to the character pool. So I still have quite a long ways to go. But you can go ahead and select all if you want to interact with them. You can deselect, of course. You can delete selections. Now here's the reason why I wanted to bring this up. You can export your character customizations, your soldiers here, into a file, and you can send that file to your friends or other players so that they can use that soldier. And all they have to do is get that file and then just simply import the character into the character pool, which is very nice. So it's going to be very interesting to see all the characters that come out there. I've seen things like Wesley Snipe, Big Boss, and Jackie Chan and Jet Li and all that. It's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get into the character creation aspect, because that's going to be dominating pretty much the entire video. So I don't want to spend too long on it because, I mean, it should be pretty self-explanatory, but we'll go through it as fast as we can. So let's start out with character info here. It's pretty basic stuff, things like your first name, last name, nickname, biography, basically your backstory on the character, nationality. We can change our flag patches now, and of course we can change gender now, which these two were not available. Well, these 3 were not available in the last game, but these 2 options in particular were pretty impacting. So let's say I want to go ahead and create myself in the game. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'll set myself to male, obviously, and let's go ahead and put my name in, of course. So it's pretty self-explanatory. There we go. And for my nickname, I don't really know what people nickname me really, so I guess I'll just put myself as RHG just after the channel for now. Biography, you could put in your character story, but for me, for the sake of the video, I'll just put in, let's see, hey guys, Lewis here. Oh, shouldn't have a caps there. Oh, I broke something. Oh, there we go. Well, it can't be a recording if I don't break something, right? Anyway, so that's pretty much my bio right there. pretty pathetic. And of course, you can go through the nationality patches right here. We didn't have this before. You would have to edit them back in any files back in the day if you wanted a soldier to be a certain nationality, which was very annoying. But now that we have this, it's much nicer. It doesn't contain all the world's countries, which is a bit disappointing, but it has quite a lot because we are represented as a multinational force here. So you got a lot of choices here. I'm not going to go through all of these. I'll just scroll through them so you can see them. And I'll go ahead and pick my patch. There we go. US, right there. So as you can see now, I now have a US patch there. Alright, so let's go ahead and make this character look more like me, shall we? But we'll kind of work our way down the list. So just let's set the general tone first. So starting with props, we have the helmet and hat section. Now, I've mentioned several times in my other videos, this is basically like Team Fortress 2 for XCOM. And there are a few options that are available to you. And so one thing I should point out though, that hats and helmets in XCOM 2 don't exactly behave the same way they did in the last game. Back in XCOM Enemy with an Enemy Unknown, when you equipped a helmet or a hat, it just basically defaulted that soldier to being bald. In this case, you can have your hair under the headgear, so that's quite nice. So you got things like your baseball caps, your backwards ball caps. I'll go ahead and scroll through the options here. You got stuff like bandanas, you got headbands, you got a boonie hat, which every time I see it makes me think of Jurassic Park, you know, going clever go. You got your beanies, you got your dress hat. I should change the color scheme of that so that it makes it look like a white fedora and tip my hat. Get a recon hood if you want to make a very stealthy looking character. You got a scarf right here, make yourself look like a ninja. You got some Delta helmets. These actually look pretty cool. I quite like them. Especially like Delta 3 and Delta 4 the most. It's very nice. You got other things like the hockey mask. You could be Jason Voorhees. Have him as a ranger running around out there. You got stuff like your floppy bunny, your long hoods, and ski mask if you want to rob a bank or something. Don't rob bank, kids. But for me, I'm not gonna wear a hat because I don't generally wear a hat. Let's see. Let's move on to your arms next. Now, when it says arms, it's pretty much meaning shoulder pads and, if you want sleeves or, protective gear on your arms. So this is like your most armored version. More tactical webbing side of things. It's like little bandages. Not so much bandages, but more like on the rag side. You got your more sleeveless options. You got your sleeveless options, but with shoulder pads and, a combination from then on out. For the point of this showcase video, though, I will go ahead and leave it on arms free for now so that I can showcase other items later on. So, I actually skipped a step there. We're supposed to go to legs. So legs is pretty much the same thing. There's a few less options, but it's pretty much ranging from protective gear and all the way to less protective gear for cosmetics, of course. All of these options are augmented when you get new armors in game, of course, so you don't always have to look like this when you get new armor. So it'll all depend on the armor that you are wearing for your soldier. So here's your armored leggings, your more protective padding, you got your protective knee pads there, and your general leggings right there. So for now, I think I'll go with the armored boots right there. And go ahead, torso. Torso is pretty much the same concept. It's just changing the base torso piece. So this is the base XCOM body armor, the tactical rig webbing armor, can't actually tell what kind of armor this is. I know it just has the utility belt and a few extra pouches. This is the more traditional body armor and a lot more pouches carrying around for supplies and whatnot. For me, I guess I will go with this one for now. Let's see. Moving up is the upper face prop. This is very interesting, of course. You got things like your glasses and piercings and whatnot, so I'll go ahead and scroll through these real quick. So you got things like your aviator glasses, your sports sunglasses, which look pretty awesome, dark sunglasses, kind of makes me think of Albert Wesker. You got hippie glasses, makes me think of Thin Men a little bit. Half frame glasses, you got your thick rim glasses, hippie glasses, makes me think of Harry Potter. You're a wizard now, Lewis. Got the awesome monocle. I quite love that. Got eye patches, eyebrow rings, earrings, lip rings, nose ring, nose stud. But out of all these options, I would have to say I'd probably be wearing the half-framed glasses, because I do wear glasses in real life, and I gotta say these glasses are probably the closest thing I can get in XCOM 2. So going on to the lower face prop, we got a few other options, such as like cigarettes and cigars, so we'll be smoking or something of the sort. We got bandanas to cover our face a little bit, so there's an XCOM based bandana, skull bandana, biker bandana, striped bandana. This one's actually the Exalt bandana from Enemy Within, so that might mean Exalt it was still around throughout the story, who knows. But for now, I'm just gonna go with none. Let's see, next up is armor pattern. So let's go ahead and run through the armor patterns real quick here. So you got your basic armor patterns here, like your digital camouflage right there. You got your classic camouflage, alien, tundra, hex. It's actually kind of hard to see, but it's kind of like honeycombs there. Arid, blots, classic 2, happy faces, which are pretty cool. Zebra stripes, plaid, tiger stripes. Plaid is actually pretty funny. Tiger stripes, hearts, those are hilarious. You put dots all over your armor. You got more traditional stripes. You got your wild camouflaging here, and your shimga, which kind of makes me think it's like woven Kevlar fabric or something of the sort, or fiber, I should say. For the sake of this, I think I might go with stripes. I feel like I'm more of a stripes kind of guy here. And same goes for the weapon patterns. It has the same exact weapon patterns that were available to the armor, but only for the weapons. But in this case, the weapon pattern color will always be black, so you can't change that color, unlike the secondary color for your weapon, for your armor pattern, which can be changed. So everything is just going to be staying black here, but for now, I'll go ahead and run through these. So you got things like digital, classic, alien, tundra, hex, arid, blots, classic 2, happy face 2. That should be a much better and easier to see compared to when it was on my armor. You got the zebra stripes, your plaid. That plaid just looks awesome. The tiger stripes, of course. You got your hearts, dots. You got your more traditional stripes. You got your wild side of things. You got your shemga. Once again, I don't actually know how you pronounce that. I'm gonna have to look that up later because it'll annoy me. But for me, I'm gonna go with stripes on both my armor and my weapon. So here's the next option for customization. You can add a little bit of face paint for yourself if you so choose. So you got things like arid right here. You got eye black, which kind of makes me think of like Vilcus and Farkas from Skyrim. You got sharpshooter here, makes me think of like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando. You got your skull right here. It's pretty awesome actually. But for myself, I don't see myself running around with face paint. You got tattoos, which is why I chose the sleeveless for now, so I can demonstrate the tattoo options. So the tattoos, you can change colors as well, and these can be applied to both arms. They will both have the same colors, but both arms will pretty much have the same options in terms of tattoos. So there might be more in the future, of course, with DLC and modding. That applies to all customization options. So you got things like your chrysalid killer here, which is like a chrysalid head right there. You got your berserker hunter. You got your snake wrap, which is a nice cobra there. Got a sliced sectoid. Got a knife in the sectoid's head, which is always nice. You got your XCOM sleeve, showing off that XCOM loyalty right there. Got electric alien, which is pretty cool. Barcode. Death sleeve. You got Earth sleeve, which some of you may remember that this was the tattoos Exalt would wear on their arms. Ace in the hole, which is pretty good. It's got like a little Reaper there. Shadow Wolf here. And I probably wouldn't go with a tattoo myself, but the tattoos are quite a nice touch if you want to go running around with a more sleeveless look. Same applies to right arm tattoo. It's just going to be on the right arm. Obviously, tattoo colors, that should be pretty self-explanatory, but you can select from a wide range of colors for your tattoo, and it's very nice. Compared to the color system from XCOM Enemy Within, it's much nicer being able to look at all the options rather just have to click on the arrow and see what comes up next, and then you see something and then you have to keep clicking through until you find it again. So I'm really liking this. And moving on to the last part of the props is the scars for your character's face. So as you can see here, my character's face is currently not that scarred, but let's go ahead and say I got burned or something, or my cheek got burned, eye got burned or something. I'll go ahead and just run through all these real quick. I've noticed that the scars are actually kind of hard to notice, but it does add a little bit of character to the soldier. Let's say like your soldier's been through some rough times and they've earned the scars, they got the scars to show for all the troubles they've gone through and all of that, and it's pretty cool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and scroll through some of these while you guys take a look. Some of them aren't quite visible, but some of them are pretty you'll be able to see right off the bat. So for example, like maximum slash scars, like you'll see my face like as a cutting board right here. So you get, and the same applies, we had the burns, we had the slashes, there's pretty much the same applies, you know, for stitches right here, and I'm pretty sure you can figure that out. Oops, but I'll go ahead and scroll through it here. Go ahead from the brow stitch right there, so you can see the stitches on the faces there. You got stitches on the lower cheeks, lower lip, upper lip, and all that stuff. Or you could have maximum stitches, just stitch my face all together. I look like Frankenstein a little bit without the whole various body parts from dead bodies. But for my purposes, I don't actually have that many scars. I'd say I do have one scar on my forehead, but it's more, that was back from when I ran into a door when I was a kid. I tried to race a door as it was closed and it slammed in my head and it actually really hurt. I was bleeding all over the place. Anyway, enough about my childhood. Let's move away from the props and move away to the rest of the customization. I'm gonna go ahead and add the let's go ahead and add full armored sleeves here. We'll go back to the rest of the customization options. So next up is face, but before I go with face, I'll go ahead and set my character's race real quick. So I believe but race 0 is Caucasian, I believe. Race 1 is African American. Race 2, I believe, is Asian descent, and race 3 is, I believe, is Hispanic. So we'll go ahead and put myself as Hispanic there. Oh, not Hispanic, but as Asian. Yeah, I'm not Hispanic, I'm Asian. So that's starting to look a little bit more like me, but we'll go ahead and change up the face preset here. So the face presets run from A to F. It's pretty self-explanatory there, but let's try to find the face that kind of fits me. I'm not like that. My face isn't that long. I'm a bit more on the rounded side. Let's see. Not so much. Probably. Yeah, that's more on what I would look like. It's starting to look a lot more like me. It's kind of uncanny. Let's go through the hair next. So we'll go ahead and run through all the hair options that are available. Obviously, you gotta have bald. You know, you always gotta have bald. You got long curls. I should also mention there are hair physics, so you can watch my hair flow in the wind if you want, or watch them as they run around. My hair is actually not that long. It's actually kind of somewhere in between short and long. So you got your long layers here. It's kind of like me, maybe, if I left my hair out long. Brushed up short, not so much. Short, too short, simple short. I'll go ahead and turn this to the side a little bit there. You got your ponytails here. Obviously, I don't have the hair for that. It's not long enough for that. You got your loose ponytails. You got your slicked back braids there. You got your loose braids. You got the man bun. I like to call this particular hairstyle the Keanu Reeves one. Buzz cuts, of course, you gotta have that. Short, curly, flat top. That's always nice. It makes me think of like Will Smith when he was younger, like from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Receding hair lines, receding hair short, parted. That actually kind of looks like what I would look like with my hairstyle. But let's go for the other options. Oh my god, I would look crazy if I had an afro. That'd be awesome. Dreadlocks, that's pretty awesome. Dreads, ponytail. I'll go ahead and rotate that again so you guys can see it from the side profile. You got your cornrows here. You got your wild dreadlocks. wild dreadlocks, ponytails, spiky mohawks, the Viking. Kind of makes me think of Vin Diesel from the Witch Hunter movie, from his most recent movie. Kind of reminds me of that. Blowout, you gotta have this. This is a classic right here. Gotta get the Guile haircut here. But for the most part, I believe I have departed. That's starting to look a lot more like me right there. Let's see. Moving on, next is the facial hair. Actually, that kind of looks like my facial hair already. But let's go ahead through the options here. So going through all your beards and mustaches and whatnot. So you got your goatee, your chin curtain, which is pretty awesome. Your goatee and mustache. You got a thick beard. That's awesome. Horseshoe mustache, mutton chops, sideburns. Go ahead and turn the side profile there. And mutton chop and stash there. That's awesome. Short sideburns there. Scruffy beard if you want to be all scruffy like. Sideburns and goatee. 5 o'clock shadow, which is kind of what I'm looking like right now. I have a bit of facial hair growing and I haven't shaved in the last few days. Stubble goatee, short horseshoe mustache, short mustache, stubble mutton chops, stubble sideburns, scrappy beard if you want to be all scrappy looking. But I gotta say, I probably have a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow right now. Not as pronounced, but somewhere along those lines. So let's see. Moving on, obviously we got hair color. There's a couple options for hair color. You can go with a little more on the crazy color side, so I could have blue hair if I wanted to. Maybe pink. I'll give myself green hair. That'd be awesome. But we'll stick with black for now. Eye color. You can change eye colors unlike the last game, which is pretty nice because you weren't always looking at your character's eyes, but it does add a little bit of character to your soldier. So you could have stuff like blue eyes or purple eyes, red eyes, green eyes, blackish gray eyes. It's pretty cool. But for the sake of realism, we'll go with brown because I do have brownish eyes. Race, we covered that. Skin color, pretty much self-explanatory. You have a few options in terms of skin color here. I gotta say, out of all of these, I'd say I'd probably be this one. It's not quite my skin color, but it's close enough as I can get in XCOM 2. And moving away from that, though, we move on to the armor colors. This is kind of like Mass Effect 3 multiplayer and Halo coloring for your characters. So you have a main color and then you have a primary color you can customize a bit. So let's go with I tend to favor a black and red look. So is that black? Yeah, that's more of the black right there. So we'll go with that, and with the secondary color I'll set it to a somewhat brightish red. Actually the only red that's available here. That's looking more like me right there. And I'd probably do the same to my weapon as well, since I already have the black stripes, and that's it right there. That's the look. I kind of always stick with this general format because I always like the the black, just the black primary and then a red stripe going through it. And you guys have probably noticed that in like my intros or my channel art. I'm not gonna get too much into the voices because there are so many voice packs available. Like I said, there are 10 American voice packs, 4 voice packs for the UK English, 2 for Australian, 10 for French, 10 for German, 10 for Italian, 10 for Spanish. Surprisingly, there's a lack of Russian, Japanese, Chinese, and some things like that, but perhaps that'll come in mods or Long War 2 with more voice packs. But I'll go ahead and just play through some of these voices just to play around a bit, just so you guys can hear it. Honestly, I have to say the voices are pretty nice. Oops, didn't mean to click that. The voices are pretty nice, but out of all of these, I feel like I don't really have one that kind of fits me, because I do have a bit of a higher register than some of these. But I'll go ahead and just play through some of the accents. So like Australian here is pretty fun.
Move, moving out.
Yeah, get some French up in here. Yeah, I really like this, and it really does help with the whole multinational force thing, and it really is nice. Once again, I hope that they add more voice packs like Russian, Japanese, Chinese, maybe even Korean, things along those lines. It would be very cool to see. I gotta say, voice 6 is probably the closest I'm gonna get as far as XCOM 2 will allow me. So another thing that you're gonna customize is your soldiers' idle movement, so their attitude. The attitude will reflect in their general, like, general behavior of their voice as well as what they do in the base. So by the book here, you know, pretty standard. You got your laid back, you know, you can be pretty chill about it. I guess I can be a little bit laid back at times, but I don't see myself relaxed like that too much. You got your normal, it's kind of like by the book, but you know, on the normal side of things, you're just baseline normal as normal can be anyway. Twitchy, I'd probably say I'm a little more on the twitchy side because honestly I can't sit still. I have to keep moving around sometimes. So I might go with that. But you got stuff like happy-go-lucky, you know, my character looks pretty pleased with himself. He's having a good time. He's having a fun time being in the video right now. Look at how happy he is. Look how happy he is. He's happy. Or maybe he's hit a rough spot in his life. He's got hard luck, you know, going through a rough time, you know. It's like, oh, these aliens took over our world. Now we need to kill them all. How could this get any worse? Or maybe it could be intense, you know, really getting into it, like, let's go kill some aliens or something of the sort. And I gotta say, it's really nice to have all these different options to personalize your character. It really does add depth to the character. But as I said before, I'm probably on the twitchy side. I'll give myself a twitchy attitude there. And here we have the soldier class. So as far as I've been able to tell, as well as from my own testing, I've tested it out a little bit with the campaign with random characters. So I basically create a couple of custom characters and set them all to sharpshooters, just to test out to see if when they get promoted they become sharpshooters. It turns out that they seem to not always get that, so there still is a randomness factor. So I'm feeling that they just added these options just so you could view what it would look like if you were a ranger. So let's say you wanted to see my character as a ranger. Let's see him as a ranger. That's him with a shotgun and the katana, not the katana, but a machete right there. So that's if I was a ranger. What would I look like if I was a sharpshooter? Well, here's me with a sniper rifle now, being all twitchy as always. And, you know, so on and so forth. You can look at the grenadier, you can look at all the other weapons to get an idea of what your character would look like if you were a certain class and of that sort. But, like I said, from what I've seen, it doesn't seem to remember the class that you pick from the character customization. So we would probably have to rely on the guerrilla tactics school if you wanted to, you know, secure your class position, which is probably what I'm going to do for most people, which means it will slow down the process of training everyone up, but I want to be able to make sure everybody gets what they want. Like, if you really want it to be a specialist, then I want to give you that chance to be a specialist. But yeah, that's what I could tell so far. And that's pretty much all the customization options. The only remaining options left is the can appear as soldier, can appear as a VIP, can appear as dark VIP. If I wanted to, I could set all of these to active. So what that would mean is, like, can appear as a soldier. So I could show up in the starting barracks as your, you know, starting soldiers, or I could be available on the recruiting list right away. I could show up as a mission reward or VIP reward, and that steps into the VIP sides of things. If I can appear as a VIP as well, there's a possibility you might run into the likeness of my character as an engineer or a scientist, or possibly as a soldier. Depends on how you set things up, but it's possible to have a soldier version of me and then an engineer version of me running around the same base, and that gets a little metaphysical and confusing with a bunch of clones of me running around. And the same can be said about Dark VIP, in which case we would send out our squads to go out and either kidnap me and bring it back to base or kill me in the streets. And then it really gets really metaphysical. It's like maybe the aliens cloned me or something. I don't know. But maybe it's maybe I'm just saying that there can only be one Lewis. There can only be one commander. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for the character customization in a nutshell. I'll go ahead and showcase some of the other characters that I've made in the many hours I've spent customizing. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and carry out my last decision, which is there can only be one Lewis. So I will delete you. Delete. Goodbye, other Lewis. Alright, so I'll go ahead and show some of the other characters that I've customized. So some of you may remember Sam and Jason. Pretty much I've the majority of everybody who was back in Enemy Within, a lot of them are making a return, like John, Jason, Sam, Nicole, Kyle. They were all from Alpha Squad. Kathy and Corey, they were from Charlie Squad. We have Bravo Squad up in here. We got new faces for Charlie and Delta Squad, so it's quite crazy with how many people are coming in. And I still have, like I said, roughly 20 more soldier customizations to do, so I got my hands full for a while. So let's take a look at some of the characters. So let's take a look at Sam, for example. So Sam, as you know from Enemy Within, was our heavy. She was always the one handling the heavy guns and the rocket launchers. Well, she's returning as a grenadier, hopefully. And, you know, she's sporting her old blue armor. She's got some tattoos. She's, you know, ready to blow things up. And she's a troublemaker. And she did a lot of you did submit your own background stories, and she did submit her own. I make tweaks here and there because there is a character limit to biography, and with Sam in particular, I kind of messed around with her bio because I like to mess around with Sam. Sam, you knew what you were signing up for when you agreed to this. Anyway, but I'll go ahead and look through some of the other squad members here. So we got people like Kyle here. Kyle is a assault from XCOM Enemy Within, so he's pretty intense. He's getting ready to, you know, rush in there and risk it for the biscuit, as he always says, you know, charging headfirst into windows and doors to take on aliens. You got Corey making his return. You know, he's a sniper. He's looking pretty badass there. He's actually a pretty happy-go-lucky guy, but we can't actually see it because he's got a bandana on, but at least the bandana's doing the smiling for him. So that's Corey right there in a nutshell. Let's see, who else? Swamperts, for example. I believe he wanted me to make him a bit of a Cartman look, so I just gave him an orange jumpsuit and I made his gun brown to be like the stick of truth from South Park. And he was pretty happy. He's got his drone. He's pretty happy about this look right here from what I've seen so far. So hope you're happy with that, Swamperts. Couple other people, you may notice your names in here, so if you made the names, congratulations so far. But like I said, I'm gonna try to get everybody I can into it. Garcelia here, she's one of my favorites because of just the character customizations that she wanted. She just wanted to be like colorful. She just wanted to be colorful. It's pretty great, and that gave me the excuse to give her plaid too, because that just made it look even better. And she didn't provide a nickname, so I decided to provide a nickname. So I gave her Present to act as a gift, because like she's really colorful, and the red is like to be the ribbon that ties the box together or something of the sort. It's pretty funny. And of course you got, you know, a lot of people here who are like the VIPs, the engineers and the scientists, your dark VIPs that we got to go out and kidnap or kill out in the streets. You got Bravo Squad here. Mike actually customized Bravo Squad here today, and he exported the file to me so that I could import into my character pool. So that was actually really helpful of him. So here's Mike, for example. He's the squad leader of Bravo Squad. He's making a return from Enemy Within with his squad, so that's pretty neat. He's pretty intense, and he's ready to go out there and kill some aliens and, you know, win the war and make sure we get Earth back. And that's pretty much it with character customization. It's so much more in-depth compared to XCOM Enemy Within and Enemy Unknown. That's to be expected. And I expect with more future DLC in the future and the modding support available to the game, we are going to be seeing so much more customization available. We're going to see some crossing like of genre in games. Like we're going to probably see Star Wars, like Imperials versus Rebels, or Warhammer armor and whatnot. It's going to be pretty cool, and I can't wait to see what the modding community comes up with, like maybe themed holiday outfits, like everybody's running around in costumes because it's Halloween or something of the sort. But it'll be interesting to see. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the character customization showcase video. Once again, I'm very sorry that I couldn't get the episode up earlier today. As I've said, I've been having a lot of render issues with the first episode for the Let's Play, so hopefully I will be able to get that up next week as soon as possible. But at the very least, I'm hoping that I'll be able to get this up to you guys so that you have options. And like I said, it's not too late to join the XCOM 2 squads. If you want to join but you don't know what you want your character to look like, hopefully this showcase video helped you out with that. Anyway, that's going to be it for this showcase video for XCOM 2 soldier customization. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe for more. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.